everyone, and welcome to Couch Convo with Tracy. I am your host, Tracy. It is such an honor to be able to present myself once again on this platform. Whew, it's been a journey. I had to take a break so that I can regroup, rebrand, and create a mission statement that will best suit my podcast. So here I am. Couch Convo with Tracy is a podcast that I created to enlighten others of how they can create the life they desire, how to push through the drama and allow themselves to be free to align with the things that they feel that they deserve and desire in life. If I reach just one person each episode, I think that I've done something really good because I've encouraged someone to make a change in their life. And I'm super excited to be able to start this journey no matter what it takes. So with all that being said, I encourage anyone that's feeling like they are hopelessly failing, don't look at life as that. Just remember to keep going and never give up. Come on over to our next episode where we dive into speaking about becoming self-aware. See you over there. Hello everyone, and welcome to Couch Convo. I am your host, Tracy. If this is your first time here, then go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If not, it's such a blessing to have you back here. Let me just tell you a little bit about Couch Convo. It's a podcast that I put together to encourage others to move through life's trauma and the drama of life in a peaceful way in order to create the life that you desire for yourself. We're going to go right on in and dive into becoming self-aware. From 2022 to 2024 of my own life, it was a very challenging time. So when I walked into 2025, I had no choice but to create change. And one of the things that I had to do in order for me to create that change was to become self-aware of who I am. I had to figure out the people in my life that were not there for a positive purpose. I had to figure out the things that triggered me, the things that got me unfocused from my journey, the things that made me feel a little bit uneasy, and figure out what I could do to make sure that I don't get off track. When we talk about self-awareness is the ability to see yourself clearly. It's a reflection of yourself. It's you understanding your thoughts and your emotions and recognizing what those thoughts and emotions cause you to do. Self-awareness is very important when you want to talk about making changes in your life. Sometimes we get up like typical people and we start our day off like how we normally start our day off. Things happen in the day that we just don't sit back and really think about it until later on when we have a chance to figure out what today brought us, if we even sit back and think about it. Because sometimes I understand that we be so tired after completing our day, we don't take the time out to sit down and think about, well, what happened today and how did I feel about the things that happened today, and how can I look at it from a different approach. One thing that I always tell myself is, if you want change in your life, you have to become the change. The change can't come from anybody else but you. You can't expect people to be your peace and to be the change that you desire in life. You can ask them, you can plead with them to do something, but you have no control over other people. So if you want that particular change in your life that you feel is going to better you, you have to become the change in your life. It is so important to have self-awareness and understand how your actions may affect you or even affect someone else. Self-awareness gives you the opportunity to make better decisions in your life for the better. For example, it's one particular person in my life that's just really toxic, but the connection that I have with them is a connection that I can't control. So being that I have to connect with them at some point in life, what I do is, if I'm in a conversation with them and the conversation seems like it is becoming toxic, or they know the things to say to make me upset, I'll say, listen, I have to call you back. Or if they're talking over me and they're not listening and they're not showing any sympathy or empathy for what I'm saying and how I feel about things, I will hang the phone up, wait a few minutes, give myself the opportunity to shift my energy back to something positive, and give them a chance to just pipe down a little bit. And then I'll call them back and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to say. This is when we become aware of ourselves, when we see that we are changing, where our moods are changing. That's us being aware of the emotions in the conversation that we're having with somebody. Text messages. If a person texts me and I know that they're gonna be negative and their response is gonna come from a negative place, just because I know that they're a negative person, I won't even read the message at the time. I will get myself in a place of positivity. I will calm myself. I will actually prepare myself to read their messages, because I know when they send me messages, their intention is to get me off of a positive frequency, and that's not what I want to do. So oftentimes I will wait till later on at the end of my day to read their text messages, or if I don't want to read their messages, I'll just let them know, listen, if you're not coming from a positive place, I'm not going to read your messages. That's not where I am. That's not who I am. And I cannot keep allowing someone else to have control over my emotions and get me out of being this loving, positive person that I am. Oftentimes, people will try to get you in a place where it's negative, and because they are miserable, they want you to be miserable. But you don't have to allow them to. You don't have to give them control over you. When you allow somebody to come into your life and you're not self-aware of the things that will cause you to stare left, it could go wrong. But when you are very self-aware of the things that will cause anger, will cause sadness, you will shield yourself from those things, or you will be prepared, because you know this is who this person is, this is what they do, this is what I expect. So you don't feel anything. You have to stand strong in who you are. When we talk about self-awareness, we also talk about the perspective that other people have about us. What do they think about us? How do they feel about us? It's another form of self-awareness. Self-awareness is internal. It's also external. External is the perspective of what somebody else thinks of us. But we're not going to talk too much about external, because we're working on ourselves. And part of working on ourselves is understanding who we are. Understanding who we want to be. If you dig deeper into self-awareness, you'll understand that self-awareness is more than just your emotions and your thoughts. It's also about being aware and recognizing your values and understanding your behavioral patterns. A lot of times we just act off impulse, and when we act off impulse, we don't sit back and think about why we did it, or what's gonna happen next, or what are we doing at the time that we're doing it. We just do it. When you become self-aware of the things that trigger you, you're able to sit back and say, hey, I'm not gonna react. I'm not gonna say anything that will cause any more negative energy. And those are things that we have to focus on. Those are things that we have to pay attention to when we get into becoming self-aware of who we are, because oftentimes we don't. And it could cause us to face consequences in life that we really weren't prepared to face. We don't want to face, and it will put us in positions that we really didn't have to be in if we just took the time out to understand ourselves, understand what we're doing. Oftentimes when things are already said and done, it's like it's said and done. Sometimes we might say things, and once we've said it and gotten to a place where we're calmed down, we're like, oh, wow, why did I say that? What caused me to say that? How did I allow somebody to get me to a place where I'm saying things that are hurtful to them? And oftentimes, if I actually sit back and think about things that I say to people, I will apologize. But I had to have a friend sit me down and say, you know what? You are a really sweet woman. I love you to death, but your words are very cutthroat. And you do not think about them when you're mad. You just go head on. And I had to sit back and think about the things that I be saying. And I'd be like, you know what? You're right. I actually do say things that are very hurtful to people. And it's not about what you say, it's the delivery of how you say it. Even my delivery was very cutthroat, and I had to take the time out to sit back and say, you know what? Either you don't say it at all, or if you do say something to someone, because most of the time I'm telling them about themselves, say it in a way that it's not going to hurt their feelings. Say it in a way where it's not intentional in hurting their feelings. Like, I mean good by what I'm saying to you. It's just my delivery is just not in a positive way. And most of the time when I feel like I'm going to say something that's out of the way that might hurt this person's feelings, or even have them sitting back and thinking, dang, I really messed up in life, or dang, my life is really a failure, most of the time I don't say anything, because I haven't adapted a way of saying things to certain people without hurting their feelings or making them upset or changing their energy or mood. So most of the time I don't say anything, and that's a part of the process. Becoming self-aware of who you are is not something that, oh, I wake up today, I study it, and tomorrow I have it down pat. Some of the ways that you can help yourself cultivate becoming self-aware is by journaling. Journal your emotions. Journal what happened that day that made you feel uneasy or put you in a negative place. Meditate. When you meditate, meditate in a space where it's quiet, where you can calm yourself and put yourself in a place of peace and harmony. Another thing you can do is self-reflection. Reflect back on where you've come from, how far you've come, and where you are now. Take time out to just reflect on the changes that you've made in your life. And if none of those things fulfill your desire, or you feel like it's something that you can't easily do, there's always therapy. I encourage people to go to therapy. One of the things that I found myself doing before I started my journey of changing who I am and changing where I was to where I am now, I went to therapy. And one of the things that made me realize that I had to change myself from within was when my therapist said, you know what? I honestly don't know why you have a toxic relationship with someone that you have to be connected with. I can't tell you the reason, but the fact that you guys just don't like each other. And I know that I've had some pretty decent moments with this person, so I understand that it's potentially there. Just the bad outweighs the good. So then I figured, you know, it's time to make the change. Either you don't have anything to do with this person, which probably in all actuality might have been the best decision, or you change who you are, change the way that you think about things, change the way that you react to things, and just don't let them get to you, because you have to understand that some people ultimate goal is to make you feel how they feel. If they're miserable in life and their life isn't working out how they want their life to work out, they want you to join. And when you get to a place of self-awareness, like I stated several times, you cannot allow somebody to have control over you. You give your power and your control to other people when they can take you out of that positive place that you're in. So that's something that you don't want to give to somebody else. You want to always have control over your life and the things that happen within your life. But it starts within yourself. So you have to take that time out to become self-aware of the things that don't sit right with you. Think about the things that do sit right with you. Focus on the things that are positive and peaceful, the things that are in line with you, the harmony that it brings into your life. One of the things that I always journal is that I am always operating in a harmonious frequency daily. That means that I'm always moving out of love. When people get me in a place where I want to be negative, I think of things that are positive, or I look at a negative situation and say, you know what, there has to be some type of positivity in this. Maybe this is happening because it doesn't align with me. I don't get mad anymore. Life is so much more peaceful once you become self-aware. I understand that it's not me. It's the other person. It's them. It's things that are going on within themselves that they have to take accountability for and change themselves. So I don't let the way people treat me bother me. I don't let the way people talk to me bother me anymore. I'm just working on myself daily. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect person, because I don't think that there's anybody that's perfect. I think the more we're living and the more life experiences that we have, the more we allow ourselves the opportunity to grow and elevate in life. So I just look at myself as, you know, I got to continue down my journey. I got to continue being peaceful and positive. I got to continue to move out of love. I got to continue to pay attention to the things that I encounter daily and not move off impulse. If I'm in a situation where somebody is saying something to me, just the other day, for example, I was on the phone talking to somebody, and I think it's very rude to hang up on someone. I think it's very rude. And I would get angry, and I will feel like, it just gets under my skin. But that person knows that that's how I feel about people hanging up on me. So what I did was I wasn't sad. I paced back and forth several times, but then I had to calm myself down briefly and say, you know what, this is what they want from me. This is the reaction that they want to get. They want me to be calling them off the hook and cursing them out and telling them about themselves, but I'm better than that. I'm not going to do that. The problem is not me, because I just asked a simple question and they just hung up and was very rude when I did initially got on the phone with them anyway. So I'm like, okay, you know what, that person might be having a bad day. Life isn't what they expect it to be. Maybe something happened where they're upset with somebody else, and a lot of times people like to project their energy from someone else onto the next person. I also understood that. So I calmed myself down and I sent them a nice little text message telling them that I'm sending them love and healing energy. And I hope that whatever happened within the day that caused them to be in a negative place, they get out of it and turn it around for the better and be at a more loving and peaceful place. That is a part of becoming self-aware. Self-awareness is a lifelong journey. Like I said, the more you live, the more life experiences you will have, the more encounters that you will have. But the more you practice and the more that you pay attention to yourself and the things that trigger you and the things that make you happy, the better you will get as time passes. And it will change you for the better. It will change your attitude. It will change the way that you look at life. And regardless to what, just keep going. Just keep doing whatever it is that you're doing to make you peaceful. Because there's nothing more valuable in life than being at peace. If you enjoy this segment, tune in for some more. I'm happy to have you here. It's blessings upon blessing. Check out my Facebook page, Couch Convo with Tracy. Like, subscribe, share, and be a blessing to someone else. Thank you. Love you guys.